Hello everybody, this is Molly. How are y'all doing? Well, I'm going to share with y'all another little mini album I made, and I hope you enjoy. And what I did was I am trying to use up my old stash before the last of my orders that I ordered for Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday and all come in. I still have about 4 orders out. Shh, don't tell anybody. Anyway, but they are all due to hit this week. So I pulled out some of an old paper line that I had, and it's called Make It Merry. And it's an October afternoon collection from a couple of years ago. And it's darling. I've always been a fan of October Afternoon for their cheeriness and just sweet. But anyway, so I use this group, and as you can see, I used a whole 8x8 inch tablet and the better part of a second one. And because I was such a hoarder, I had bought 2. I also had bought 2 packs of these, used almost all but I think 2 of these. And literally my goal was to use up some of my supplies. Isn't that horrible? So here's the little mini album that I came up with. I've used an Anna Griffin on the top. This piece right here is the packaging that came with the Make It Merry collection of postcards. And here's some ephemera and things you can see there and there and there. Some of the ephemera pieces that came with it. And then of course I bought some flair that came with it. So I just loved it. The base of the album is lightweight chipboard. I cut each page out of lightweight chipboard. The cover is about 7 3/4 by 6 1/4, and the inside pages are 7 1/2 by 6. So the cover is just 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around, you know, 1/4 inch bigger total, so 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around to give those inside pages a little protection. You can see where I'm trying to use up some of my old stuff. Of course, there's the Anna Griffin, but this frame from Making Memories I've had for longer than I'd like to admit, and I'm trying to put pearls and things everywhere I can. There's that piece. I've used the Tim Holtz pine tree to cut out some frosty little pine trees. This is one of the ephemera pieces that came with the collection, as is this. And of course I used the cinch to bind it. Now what I'll show you on the pages is I cut the chipboard, and then I used Xyron to attach my, I cut the paper about 1/2 inch bigger all the way around, ran it through Xyron, attached it, and then I have the pages folded over. And then I cut a second sheet of paper just big enough to cover it. So you'll see where it kind of laps and shows the cover there. But I like the feel of the chipboard, and I think it'll just last a year or 2 longer. So anyway, there's the first page. A little bit of holiday ribbon. Used a little piece of clear acrylic here in the corner to make a pocket. Now, I'm going to throw these aside as we go, but the collection, I had bought the ephemera pack and the postcard pack, so you're going to see where there's where I used some of the little brads. Now I cut the brad part off and just used a glue dot to adhere them, so I didn't have to worry about doing anything with the back. So there's the first page. Easy, easy breezy. And of course there's the back of that ribbon, and you can see where I put just a bunch of little ephemera pieces, and then some of the paper pieces in it. I made some, oh, I love this one. You know me with my dirty gum cats. Isn't that cute? And then I did use the brad here as a brad because I've collected some of the little pieces together. A button with some jute and another one of the little tag pieces. So I think that's very simple. Now one of the things I'm going to share with you in this video, I'm used a die cut here. And this was a Spellbinders on the edge die kind of thing, and it's I'm going to show it to you in a minute, and I'm going to show you a die, the way I'm starting to store my dies, that I stole the idea from a Tim Holtz video. He said it just in passing, what he used to store some of his dies, and I ran to Lowe's real quick. Of course, good thing he didn't tell me to go buy a bridge, but anyway, so I did run to Lowe's and buy what he told me, what he said he used, and I love how it came out. So just if you got a minute, hang on, and I'll show you that die storage. But isn't that little on the edge die cute? So I cut use the regular die for this, and then I used the little die that is pierced and scalloped to make a little border. Again, some old Making Memory pieces, and then these pages are just chock-a-block full with some of the ephemera pieces. So that's that. This next page, this came with, it's a separate sheet of stickers or die cuts I bought. Put a little pennant, used some jute. Aren't those papers just darling? I mean, just sweet as a button. Okay, so there's that one. Now, these right here, this die is a different die than this die, but I like how they, I was cutting myself samples of what the dies look like that I just bought. And so I ended up, what the heck, I'm just going to stick them on the bottom of there. So it made a cute little thing. There's some more, there's another one of the little flare buttons, another one of the brads, another one of the brads, and then another piece of that old, the metal sentiments. Here's another one of the dies that I got. Now these and these are from Heartfelt Creation, and I'm going to show you the other one. And I love them. They did not cut glitter paper as smoothly as my Spellbinders and some of the other dies do, but they did cut, you know, nice size cardstock, you know, heavyweight cardstock. They cut beautifully, and I love the intricacy of the die. The other thing I'll show you about on the die is there's several cutting options. You could cut just this out of the paper, or you could use the edge along with it and cut it here, or there's some decorative edges, or there's an edge where you could actually even cut the bottom. So those are from Heartfelt Creations. And again, just some of the cute little ephemera pieces, and I just tried to use up the brad so I don't have to store them another year. Okay, another frame, cut a couple of pennants, and don't you love that little snowman? He's so cute. Okay, here's another one of the Heartfelt Creation dies. The smaller ones you see here came in a pack of, I think, 3 designs. 3, I think. And then the other ones I showed you that first one that was wider, and it comes with a second die in. Okay, so there's some more of that counting down paper. Nothing much to see here. Move along, nothing much to see. Okay, hold on, let me turn here. And then here I made some more of the pennants. And then this was one of the cut apart pages from the paper line, but I used it just, you know, as if it were plain old paper. Okay, this is a corner die that I got from Marianne Designs, and it is beautiful. And if you can see, I cut the outside border and then cut it again to get a back piece, and then cut the inside separately, which you can do with this die. And then it embosses beautifully, so it gave me a little raised corner piece there. Some more of the flare, some of the cute paper. Okay, here's the other die that came with that Heartfelt Creations die. And you can see where this one and the one I showed you earlier with the ivory color, let me see if I can go back to it quickly. I used the outside bordered edge of the die as well to cut acrylic, just clear acrylic. Can you see it kind of shining there? So that I could attach that to it, and it would, you know, keep me from having all these little pieces tearing away there. So I did that with that one and the red one. Can you see the little acrylic behind there? But I love this die, I love that one. And then again, it also has a die where it would have cut this as a separate piece, separately. Okay, and again, not to take up too much of your time with that, but just some of the cute ephemera pieces and flare buttons that came with this line. Make it merry. Love it. Okay, we're getting to the end of the book, and then I'll share with you the die storage solution that I've got. Okay, this page right here, I made a pocket. You know, this page is covered, and then I made a pocket, you know, and left myself a little 1/4 inch here, scored it, and tuck, you know, in the edges, glued that there, so that there is a pocket here, nice size. Hope you can see that. And then when I glued this little border on this page, you know, here the pocket is straight right there, I left the border so that I could tuck a little tag right there. And then the last page, some more of the ephemera pieces just tucked in. Another piece of ephemera and the piece of metal. So it's a very simple, sweet little book. I love how the line came out. And again, you can kind of see where this piece of paper was used to cover the back chipboard. It wraps around there, and then this green piece is glued on top of there, taped on top of there, and that's how all the pages are made. And then I just added my pockets and flaps and corners on top of that. Could have added in other flaps, could have added in folds, but I like the chipboard. It's a lightweight chipboard, but I like having that base for something that's going to get handled and that you hope to last over the years. Now I'm going to take you around the room. Hold on just a minute. Do not look at this. And I'm going to show you my die storage solution. I do not think it is meant for everyone, but I'm loving it. Okay, this is what it is. I had an old picture frame, an old piece of artwork that I've had for years. Didn't care for it anymore, so that is the frame for it. And then here you'll see where I bought a poster board frame. And what I used, literally, this one, I attached the sheets that you're going to see just to the outside. They're attached to the outside of the glass. This one, I used spray adhesive and actually attached these magnetic sheets. And what they are, thank you, Tim, is vent covers. I have tried to use magnetic sheets from the craft store, and they're just too lightweight. didn't hold the dies up well and didn't care for them. But these are vent covers. I paid $4.97 a package, and it comes with 3 sheets. So this one took 3 sheets and a little part. This one took 6 sheets and some parts and all. But I love how my dies are. And then you can see where that's just right there on my desk. I've got my cutter. And of course I got my thing, because I'm foiling lately, you know, the craze on foiling. But anyway, so I'm loving that I can just come up, take my die off there. So I can do it with, you know, use it, put it back. And I'm loving that I can actually see what dies I have. There is the little set, you know, it's called, you know, like the on the edge kind of thing. So you can see all the different pieces you can use together. There's the second set. There's that corner piece I was showing you. Yes, I know I need to clean my paper out. I'm going to get to it. But you can see where all these things lay. I know I need to clean that one. And then here's some of the new Christmas dies I have and all. So I'm loving it. Now, the one problem I have with it is I don't have a lot of dies. You know, more than some, less than a whole lot of others. So now what do I do? Because those orders I told you I was waiting to come in, oh yeah, there's new dies in there. And I bought some dies that aren't coming in until January. So then what? I guess I'll start putting my favorites. Plus I have some wall space on both sides. I could raise this up a little bit and add some littler frames there. But I am loving seeing my dies. Easy to grab off the board. You know, the picture frame. It's lightweight. It's very lightweight, so it's just hanging on 2 nails. And then when I'm through, I just flick it back up there, and it stays. And I found that using my dies is going to be a whole lot friendlier. Can you see this, how the frame's wibbly wobbling? Because it's just, you know, a frame on 2 nails. But see how they just, and good stick. Little pieces, big pieces are all sticking. Okay, so that's just a little organizational tip. I personally like the look of it in my room. You know, it's right there by my bookshelves, the paper and storage and all. And I think it's going to let me use my dies. My steel rule dies are in those drawers right there. And my extra, what do you call those things? The acrylic pads, you know, the B plates and C plates and F plates and D plates or whatever are in that drawer. So how easy is that? My sewing machine's down underneath there. I can just flick it up when I need to. Okay, wanted to share that idea with you. Might not work for you at all, but I am loving it so far. Very inexpensive, very lightweight. Just as pretty on my walls as anything else I would have put up, and I am using my dies more. Okay, y'all have a very Merry Christmas and happiest holidays, and I'll talk to you again soon. Now I'm off to making some tags. Y'all have fun. Bye-bye.